If I told you to set aside some cabbage, carrot, and chayote right now, you'd probably think, oh, that's just an ordinary soup, the everyday kind. And that's exactly where I want to surprise you, because it isn't. What most people don't know is that when you join these three simple, cheap vegetables with one special ingredient, a food I'm going to reveal to you in just a little while, you put together one of the most comforting and nourishing broths there is for anyone who's already past 60. I'm talking about a natural combination, rich in real protein and in that collagen that comes from slow cooking, the kind that helps give the body substance, care for the joints, and bring back a little of that energy we feel time has been slowly carrying away. You know that feeling of unsteadiness when getting up from a chair, or that tiredness that shows up too soon when you walk a little? Well, it's precisely with you in mind, you who feel this day to day, that I prepared this video with all my care. But before anything else, I need to make this very clear. With all honesty, this video is only informational and educational. I am not a doctor or a nutritionist, and nothing I say here replaces the guidance of a health professional. If you have any condition like diabetes or high blood pressure or take medication, talk to your doctor or a nutritionist before including this broth in your routine, because every body is unique and the one who follows yours closely is the one who can guide you properly. With that settled, what I bring here is real food, the kind our grandmothers made in the pot, only combined in an intelligent way to get the most flavor and nourishment on your plate. Now let me tell you what's coming up, because it's going to make you want to stay with me until the last spoonful. I'm going to introduce you, one by one, to the ingredients of this powerful broth, and I'll explain why each of them is a true treasure for anyone who wants to keep their legs firm and their body with more energy after 60. You'll meet the cabbage, which I fondly call the elder's pharmacy, the carrot, which is the fuel of renewal, the chayote, which is the joint hydrator, and the great secret ingredient, the rebuilder, that turns this broth from an ordinary soup into a meal worthy of respect, and that I'll reveal at the right moment. But it doesn't stop there, because knowing the ingredients is only the beginning. Along the way, I'm going to tell you some secrets that make all the difference and that few people know, like the right way to cut the cabbage, which changes how much it gives back, or the reason why a humbler cut of meat is better than the noble, expensive cuts for what we want here. And at the most awaited moment of the video, near the end, I'll give you the exact amounts of each ingredient and the complete method of preparation, step by step, including the trick to make the broth thick, creamy, and easy to eat. So go ahead and do three little things for me. Leave your like, subscribe here to the channel, and comment down below the phrase, "I want strong legs," because I love knowing who's here with me on this journey. Already commented? Then hold on tight, because our first stop is precisely that vegetable almost everyone overlooks at the market, and that deserves far more respect than it gets. Our first stop is that vegetable almost everyone walks right past in the market aisle, the cabbage. Most people look at it, think it's too cheap, too ordinary, and don't give it the slightest value. But I want you, from today on, to look at cabbage with respect, because it deserves, with all fairness, the nickname I give it, the elder's pharmacy. Let me explain why, calmly. You know that feeling of heaviness, that discomfort in the joints that seems like it never goes away? Cabbage is known for being rich in natural sulfur compounds and in substances that help the body deal better with that kind of discomfort, working like a true cleaner of the body. And here's a point few people mention. A good part of our energy begins in the gut. If an older person's gut doesn't work well, the whole body feels it. The spirits drop. The absorption of what we eat gets worse. Cabbage, being rich in fiber and water, helps the gut work more regularly, and that's why it's such a good start for our broth. But its great highlight for your muscles and bones has a name: vitamin K. It's one of those discrete vitamins that don't show up on the labels of expensive supplements, but that the body uses to help direct calcium to the right place, which is inside the bones. A cabbage on the plate, then, isn't just bulk. It's a silent ally of your structure, of that firmness you want to feel when you set your foot on the floor and rise up. And there's more goodness in this humble vegetable that I need to tell you about because it changes the way you'll look at it from now on. Besides caring for the gut and adding to the care of the bones, cabbage is rich in antioxidants, those substances that help the body protect itself from the natural wear of time, and it contributes to good circulation, which is fundamental for anyone who feels heavy legs or that tingling sensation at the tips of the feet. When the blood circulates well, it carries more oxygen to the extremities, and that helps with the spirit to walk without that tiredness that locks you up. And when you cook the cabbage slowly, inside a broth like the one we're going to make, it turns soft, gentle, easy to digest, and delivers all of this in a tasty, comforting way without weighing on the stomach. But pay close attention now, because here comes the first secret almost no one knows. Did you know that the way you cut the cabbage changes how much it gives back of its best properties? That's right. If you cut it any old way, you throw away part of the benefit without even noticing. Down in the method of preparation, near the end of the video, I'm going to teach you the right cut, the one that exposes the fibers in the ideal way for cooking. So stay tuned, because this simple detail truly makes a difference. And if cabbage, on its own, is already this natural pharmacy I showed you, imagine it alongside the next ingredient, the one I call the fuel of renewal. And that makes your body truly make use of everything that comes after. Don't go anywhere, because we're going to meet it now. Our second stop is a vegetable everyone knows, but that almost no one truly understands, the carrot. Some people think carrot is only for the eyes, that old story that it's good for the eyesight and that's it. But for anyone already past 60, I like to call the carrot the fuel of renewal, and you'll soon understand why. The carrot is one of the biggest sources of that orange pigment, beta-carotene, which our body turns into vitamin A. And vitamin A is a great ally when the body works to maintain and renew its tissues. Let me give you a simple image. The kind that sticks in your head. Imagine your muscle is a wall that over time keeps losing some of its bricks. The protein, which comes on strong in our secret ingredient later on, is the brick. But what good is having the brick stacked in the corner if there's no one to lay it in place? The carrot comes in precisely there, helping the body make better use of that raw material. Without it in this broth, it would be like buying a pile of bricks and leaving it all dumped in the yard. That's why it isn't just any detail in the recipe. It helps give meaning to everything that comes after, making the whole work together instead of each ingredient on its own. And there are more reasons to look at the carrot fondly from today on, because it cares for more things than you'd imagine. The antioxidants present in it help protect the heart and the circulation. And you know how much that matters. A well-cared for heart and vessels mean more breath in your day. You know that tiredness of climbing 2 steps and already being out of breath, of having to stop in the middle of the stairs to breathe? Caring for the circulation with the help of foods like the carrot is one of the paths to having more energy in those moments. And since it turns sweet and soft when cooked slowly in the broth, it also gives a tasty flavor and a lovely color to the dish, making everything more inviting to eat. Now, I know you might be thinking, but I have diabetes. Can I use cooked carrot? And here I'm going to be honest with you, because I promised at the beginning, I'm not going to tell you that this broth controls your blood sugar, because that would be a promise I can't make. What I can say is that carrot, within a balanced meal alongside fiber and protein, is usually quite different from eating a sweet on its own. But who decides that with you is your doctor or your nutritionist? And that conversation is well worth it. With that settled, let me take you to the next ingredient, the one I call the joint hydrator, because it's the one that brings the lightness our recipe was missing. Don't go anywhere, because we're going to meet it now. Our third stop is that vegetable that suffers from an unfair reputation, the chayote. How many times have you heard people say that chayote tastes like nothing? Well, I like to answer that chayote does have a taste, the taste of lightness and health. For anyone already past 60, it's a true hidden treasure, and I fondly call it the joint hydrator. Let me explain this idea, because it's a beautiful one. As the years pass, the body gets drier on the inside, and our joints, the knees, the shoulders, the hips, start losing a little of that natural lubrication we had in our youth. Chayote is made up largely of water, besides being rich in potassium, and that's why it helps keep the body well hydrated in a gentle and pleasant way. And hydration for the joints makes all the difference. You know that click click in the knee when standing up? That feeling of a dry joint when bending the arm? Keeping the body well hydrated with the help of light foods full of water like chayote is one of the simple bits of care that help you feel more lubricated and comfortable in your day-to-day movements. And the best part is that it does this without weighing you down, being easy to digest, which is perfect for a comforting broth you'll have at night or on a quiet late afternoon. And chayote doesn't live by water alone because it holds a mineral I need to introduce to you properly: magnesium. I like to call magnesium the conductor of the minerals because it takes part in so many functions in the body that it's almost like a maestro organizing the orchestra. It's tied to the good working of the muscles and the nervous system, helps calm the body, and favors a more peaceful night's sleep. And you know that torment of cramps, which strike right in the small hours and rob so many people past 60 of their sleep? Keeping a good supply of magnesium in the diet is among the bits of care that help lessen that discomfort, and chayote comes in as a gentle ally in this story. Besides that, it adds to the overall balance of the body and is known for being a light vegetable for those who need to care for their blood pressure, always, of course, within your doctor's guidance. So, inside our broth, the chayote works like a gentle mineral base. It brings lightness, hydration, and that comfort that makes the dish go down well. It's the calm that prepares the ground for the power that comes now. Because up to here, we've put together a wonderful trio of vegetables, but I promised a secret ingredient: the great rebuilder, the one that turns this vegetable soup into a real meal, strong and substantial. The time has come to reveal it. Don't go anywhere, because the next one is the heart of our recipe. The moment I promised has arrived, the time to reveal the great secret of our recipe, the rebuilding ingredient that turns this vegetable broth into a strong, substantial meal. It's beef shank, the muscle cut. Maybe you turned up your nose a little just now, because many people forget this cut, think it's tough, second-rate meat. But I'm going to tell you why. For what we want here, the humble muscle cut is superior to the noble, expensive cuts like the tenderloin. The secret lies precisely in what makes so many people avoid it. The muscle is the part of the animal that worked the most. And that's why it's rich in connective tissue, those fibers and little sinews that, when cooked slowly for a good while, melt down and release collagen into the broth. It's that slow cooking that makes the magic happen, turning a firm meat into a tender one that melts in the mouth inside a full-bodied, comforting broth. And collagen, as you've surely heard, is a protein tied to the support of the body, the skin, the joints. Instead of spending a fortune on those jars of powdered collagen off the shelf, which many people buy without knowing if they're making use of it, you draw this collagen naturally from real food cooked in your own pot, just the way our grandmothers already did without even knowing the fancy name for it. And the reasons to love the muscle cut don't stop at the collagen, because it's a complete meal in itself. It offers high-value protein, the kind the body makes good use of to keep the musculature firm, which matters so much for anyone who wants to counter that natural loss of leg strength with age. Besides that, the muscle is a fine source of iron and vitamin B12, and here I need to draw your attention, because this explains a lot. A lack of B12 is common in older people, and it's among the causes of that feeling of tiredness, of weakness in the legs, of a slower, more forgetful mind. By having a broth made with this meat, you're offering the body, in a natural and tasty way, nutrients it so needs at this stage, almost like a boost of spirit coming straight from real food. It's the strength that comes from the earth, from honest food into your plate and your day. But attention, and this I make a point of repeating frankly, as nutritious as it is, this is a food, not a medicine. And if you have any restriction, like a kidney problem, high cholesterol, or any condition that calls for care with red meat, talk to your doctor or nutritionist first, because every body is unique. With that settled, now that you know the complete team, the three vegetables and our rebuilder, the most awaited moment of the video has arrived. I'm going to give you the exact amounts and the method of preparation, step by step, including that right cut of the cabbage and the trick to make the broth thick and creamy. So grab paper and pen and stay with me, because you won't want to miss a single detail. The most awaited moment of the video has arrived, so grab your paper and pen, because now I'm going to give you everything properly, in the right measure and step by step, so you don't slip up in your kitchen. Let's start with the ingredient list. You'll need 1 kilogram of beef muscle cut. And here's the first tip. Ask the butcher to trim the excess fat on the outside, but keep those inner sinews, because it's precisely from them that the collagen comes out in the slow cooking. Cut the meat into small cubes, because the smaller the piece, the greater the contact with the water and the more the broth makes use of it. Then, 1 large carrot, well washed and with the skin, because it's just below the skin that a good part of the nutrients are concentrated. 1 whole chayote, also with the skin well washed, cut into 4 parts, and half a medium cabbage. And now comes the famous secret of the cut I've been promising since the beginning. Instead of chopping it into big, thick pieces, slice the cabbage into thinner strips so that the fibers are well exposed. Cut this way, it cooks evenly, turns more tender, and releases its properties better into the broth, instead of staying in those hard closed pieces. If you like, set aside an onion and a little salt for flavor too. Notice how there's nothing expensive or complicated here? It's all simple food, from the market, only combined with care and with a bit of knowledge, which is what makes the difference between just any soup and a broth worthy of respect. Now, the method of preparation, and pay attention because it's simple, but it has its tricks. Start with the meat, take your pressure cooker, add a thin drizzle of olive oil, and put in the kilogram of muscle cut in cubes. Let the meat brown well, stirring now and then, because it's that browning that releases the flavor and gives that lovely color to the broth. When the meat is nicely browned, add the vegetables on top, the carrot, the chayote, and the sliced cabbage. There's no need for order or fuss. You can toss it all in together. Next, add the water, filling the pot until everything is well covered with room to spare, about 4 fingers of water above the vegetables, because part will evaporate in the cooking. If you're going to use the onion and salt, now's the time. Close the pot, and when it starts to whistle, count 50 minutes on the clock, on low heat. We want the meat to get so tender it falls apart in the mouth, and the vegetables to be well cooked and full of flavor. And here's the final secret, the trick to make the broth thick and creamy, the kind that's a delight to eat. After turning it off, releasing the pressure safely, and opening the pot, take a ladle and set aside just a part of the already cooked vegetables without the meat, and blend it quickly in the blender with a little of the broth itself. Return this blended mixture to the pot and stir well. There it is, the broth thickens, turns velvety and easy to eat, while the meat stays right there, whole and tender, for you to eat along with it. See how easy it is? Just serve it nice and hot. But before you run off to the kitchen, stay with me a little longer, because in the next and last topic, I'm going to teach you how to have this broth day to day and the bits of care that make it truly worthwhile. Don't go anywhere. Now that you already have your broth ready in the pot, thick, fragrant, and with the meat tender, let me show you how to enjoy it day to day, because this is one of the most pleasant parts. This broth is a complete meal in itself. You can serve a nice hot bowl at dinner, on that cooler late afternoon when the body asks for something comforting and light at the same time. It's great alongside a little piece of whole grain bread for those who like it, or served plain, savored slowly, spoonful by spoonful, feeling the warmth go down and warm the body. You can eat the meat together with the broth, which is how I like it best, or set the meat aside shredded to use in another meal, like the filling of a roasted vegetable or over some rice. And if there's some left over, no problem at all. This broth keeps well in the fridge for about 3 days in a sealed container, and it gets even tastier the next day. when the flavors have already come together. You can also freeze it in individual portions in those little containers and always have a nourishing meal on hand for the days you don't feel like cooking. Notice how practical and economical it is. With simple, cheap ingredients, you put together several meals worthy of respect instead of spending on processed things that don't truly nourish. It's honest food that comforts and nourishes at the same time, just the way we deserve at this stage of life. But pay attention to what I'm about to tell you, because there's no point in having the best recipe in the world if the thing that truly changes the game is missing: consistency and care for the whole. It isn't one bowl had on a Sunday and forgotten for 2 weeks that will bring you energy. It's the habit. It's including this broth and other real foods in your routine with regularity and with affection for yourself that will, little by little, add up in favor of your vitality. And let me give you 3 simple bits of care that boost everything. The first is to drink plenty of water throughout the day because hydration is the foundation of it all. It helps the joints, the gut, and the energy. The second is movement because no food in the world, however nourishing, builds firmness on its own with the body still. It doesn't have to be anything heavy: a light walk, a stretch in the morning, standing up and sitting down from the chair a few times, whatever your body allows and your doctor approves. The food is the material, but it's movement that asks the body to use that material in the legs and the arms. And the third bit of care, the most important of all, I already said at the beginning, and I make a point of repeating with all seriousness: talk to your doctor or a nutritionist before adopting this broth as a habit, especially if you have diabetes, high blood pressure, kidney issues, or take medication. Because the one who cares for you closely is the one who can guide you safely. This video is only informational and made with care to give you ideas for real food, and nothing here replaces the guidance of a professional. And so we come to the end of this journey with you now knowing from end to end how to turn 3 simple vegetables and a humble cut of meat into what I fondly call the most comforting broth for anyone already past 60. You met the Cabbage, our elder's pharmacy, which cares for the gut and adds to the care of the bones, the carrot, the fuel of renewal, which helps the body make better use of everything that comes after, the chayote, the joint hydrator, which brings lightness, water, and that conductor magnesium, and the beef muscle cut, our rebuilder, which delivers real protein and the natural collagen of slow cooking, just the way our grandmothers did it. You also learn the secrets that make the difference: the right cut of the cabbage with the fibers well exposed, and the trick of blending part of the vegetables to make the broth thick and creamy. And, above all, you understood that strength and energy don't live in a single bowl, but in consistency, in real food repeated with care day to day, together with water, movement, and the guidance of those who care for your health. Never let anyone tell you that you're too old to have firmness and vitality, because your age is only a number, and the care for your body is a choice you make today, at the tip of the fork, at every meal. Now I need to ask you 3 little things, because they help a lot and cost nothing. The first, tell me here in the comments if you already knew this broth, and which of the ingredients surprised you the most, because I love reading each of your answers. The second, comment down below the phrase, "I want strong legs," because taking on that commitment out loud is the first step for you to truly begin, and it also helps me carry this content to more people who need it. And the third, which is the most beautiful of all, pick up your phone now and share this video with someone you love in the family's WhatsApp group, or with that dear person whose legs have been feeling tired, your mother, your father, a friend, a neighbor, because caring for those we love is also sharing a good recipe and the right information at the right time. If this video helped you, leave your like, subscribe here to the channel so you don't miss the next recipes, and tap the bell to be notified whenever I bring new content made with care for your health and your independence. Take good care of your legs, because they're the ones that carry you to all the places in life. Start today. Start with the next bowl. Start with the commitment you're going to write down below in the comments. A big hug, much health, and I'll be waiting for you in our next video.